Hello everyone, I'm Wes Sego and this is MDF2, term 1402, week 2, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my project, what I did for my project. I'll go through a short code overview and then I'll discuss what I could have done better and also what went well this week. This was the project for the Twitter application with a collection view. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up and let you see how it works, see what it does, and then we'll go from there. I've got it running on my iPhone, so I'll turn on AirPlay and we'll go take a look at it. You can go in here and see that there's nothing else running on my phone, so I'll go ahead and start it up. Let's see. And here in the beginning I just used a placeholder to put in there for my collection view until the table loads, and this is it. Goes out and gets the 21st or the first 20 friends on my list or followers for me, and whenever you select one of the followers, it just opens up another view that shows you their user image and the user names. And it was a Celestron, and Astronomy Magazine, Sky and Telescope Magazine. Got astronomy picture of the day. Up here at the top we've got Saturn Cassini mission, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and so on and so forth. And that's about it. Even though it looks pretty simple, there's actually a lot going on there behind the scenes. So I'll talk a little bit about the code. When I attacked this project, inside of my after my request, when I actually got my Twitter feed information and the JSON serialized data back into a dictionary, I looped through it, and this is where I set everything up to make my calls for my custom object. I named my custom object follower data. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, but the way that seemed to be most intuitive was to go ahead, as I loop through, get the names, get the image, convert the URL to a string, turn that into data, and turn that into the final image. That way, once I called that function and got back my custom object, the object would contain the information exactly the way that I needed it for when I displayed it. You could have done that a lot of different ways, but that's the only way that really made sense. If you did it any other way, it didn't make sense to make a custom object of it. So that's how I did it. And so in that loop, I actually pull out each piece of data, store that into an array of variables that I put into an array, and then when I call the custom object that I created, I'm actually feeding it the picture, the picture information rather than the URL. So and then from there, obviously, just after that, we've got the table information. There's my logs for my error messages, and whether the person is not connected to the internet or whether they did not grant access. And then in the bottom, they're just my methods for the table view or the collection view itself, and whenever you return it. So what could I have done better? Well, you know what? There's a lot of things about this application. Really, when you first start it up, it's pretty easy to crash it. I'm sure everybody ran into the same thing, where it takes about 3 seconds for mine to go out and grab the data. And if you try to select something in your collection view before the data is created, it's going to crash because there's nothing there. And there were a lot of different ways to handle that, but I would probably have just handled it with a splash screen. About a 4-second splash screen would have taken care of that. This week, I'll talk a little bit about this week. Probably the most helpful thing this week was, even though this is such a small little application, there is a lot going on, and there were just a lot of different variable names and class names and things that were being used. And I actually went out and bought a whiteboard and put it up over my desk on the wall, and I have to tell you that that was probably the single best thing that I ever did for my entire programming life here at Full Sail, because I just ran through my code. At that point, there were no moments of distraction to stop and go, all right, what did I name this? What did I name that? And I find that to be especially helpful whenever you're taking those objects and sending them to your outlets, because typically you're going to name the variable pretty close to what you named the protocol and the custom object. So that was very helpful. There were some other things that I did. I found a really nice tutorial on Ray Winterlich about how to, when you're setting up that request, and a little error handler for that would send an alert message if you killed the application and you hadn't yet given permission for the access to the accounts. If you had multiple accounts stored on the phone, it would bring up a dialog that would ask you which account you want to use. I took it out in the 11th hour just because there was a couple things about it that I didn't like, and I didn't want my grade to suffer because I screwed something up on that, which wasn't really part of it. And then I also I had a little bit of extra time this week, so I started playing with the AV Foundation framework, and I went out and got this little click sound. I'm sure you can hear that. And so I loaded that framework up and got that working. I had it to where whenever you select one, you would get the click, and then also whenever you hit the done button or the cancel button on the detail view, you would get that click. But the same thing at the end of it, I took that back out because actually I knew what I had done wrong there. I was creating a new instance of my AV player every single time I was using it, so that would have been like a pretty wicked memory leak. And given more time, I could have gone through and got that right, but I didn't want my grade to suffer for that either. But all in all, it was a really good week. This was kind of an aha week for me. I really feel like I turned a corner. This is probably the first week that I've ever sat down and I pretty much wrote every bit of my code before I ever opened a storyboard. I had everything running, and then I went and I began to take the storyboard and build the UI for it, which it was just really intuitive the way I did it this week. I had a great week, and I hope everyone else did too. So thanks for watching.